Good morning to all. My name is Himanshu Srivastava. Today we will read the story Footprints Without Feet by H.G. Wells. This video includes line-wise explanation of the story and summary of the story. The link for the notes of this chapter is in the description box of this video. So let's start the story with the introduction. Can a man become invisible? This is a story of a scientist who discovers how to make himself invisible. Does he use or misuse his discovery? The story is about a scientist named Griffin. He discovers the rare chemicals which can make a man invisible. So, will he use that chemical? Will he use that discovery or misuse it? That we will read in the story. That now let's read and find out how he uses or misuses his power. This is the chapter. Here are some word meanings. Imprints means impress or stamp. Bare means not covered. Gaze means looking at steadily and intently. Sight, power of seeing. Fascinated means strongly attracted. Bewildered means confused, very puzzled. Eject means to leave a place. Compel someone to leave a place. Two boys suddenly noticed a few muddy imprints on bare feet, of bare feet. They started wondering that what was a barefoot man doing on the steps of a house in the middle of a town. They also started thinking that where was the man, as he was nowhere to be seen because only the feet was there. They suddenly saw another footmark. The man was still not visible. They started following the footprints. They followed them until the footprints became invisible. They had been following a scientist who had discovered how to make the human body transparent or invisible. So now this is the beginning that the two boys saw the footprints of feet, muddy footprints. Now, who the man was? It was Griffin, the scientist who had been working for a long time to see how to make the human body invisible. Suddenly, one day, he consumed certain drugs which made his body invisible, though it could be felt. Griffin was a lawless person, as he had once burned down the house of his landlord who was trying to throw him out of the house. And then, as he wanted to be invisible, he had to remove his clothes and then roam around without clothes and without money. His presence was felt after he stepped in some mud, and then his footprints could be seen by those two boys. Now, finally, he escaped from there, from the boys who had followed him, but he had many more adventures coming up. He had chosen a bad time to wander in London as it was winter season going on and the air was bitterly cold. He decided to stay inside a store for warmth as he had not worn any clothes. As he went inside the store and closing time arrived, the doors of the store were shut and nobody was there inside. He got food to eat and wore new clothes without paying for it. He became visible again as he wore shoes, overcoat, and a hat. He then found cold meat and coffee in the kitchen and ate them. After that, he also had sweets and wine from the grocery store. Then he slept on the pile of quilts kept nearby and could not wake up on time. Everything would be okay, but only when he would be able to wake on time, but he didn't. Next morning, when the assistants came and started approaching him, he became nervous and started running away. Then the assistants started chasing him as well. He escaped only because he quickly removed his new clothes. Again, he was invisible and naked, without any money in the chill air of January. Here are some words. Shivering means shaking slightly because of cold. Whiskers means long projecting hair. Callously means showing an intensive and cruel disregard. Pub in means pub that provides accommodation. Wagging means move. Solitude means situation of being alone. Eccentric means unconventional. Okay, so these are the word meanings. This time he decided to, means the second time he decided to try the clothing of theatrical world, as he knew that he would surely find something there to cover his face with. He quickly reached Drury Lane, the center of the theatrical world, as he was shivering with cold. He found a shop according to his needs and entered it. He came out wearing bandages around his forehead, false nose, side whiskers, and a hat. Then, as he did not have money, he attacked a shopkeeper and robbed him of all his money. Then he felt that London was too crowded and decided to go to a small village nearby, Epping. He took a train and booked 2 rooms in the local inn. The event of a stranger coming and staying at the inn in the winter night was not a normal thing to happen in Epping, and everybody started talking about it also because Griffin looked very strange. The landlord of the inn where Griffin stayed, Mrs. Hall, made a lot of efforts to be friendly with Griffin, but he did not want to talk. He clearly told her that his reason for coming to Epping was for peace and quietness, and he did not wish to be disturbed in his work. Also, he told her that an accident had affected his face, due to which he had to cover it. The landlord's wife, Mrs. Hall, accepted that her new guest was a strange scientist and was ready to excuse his temper and habits as he had paid her in advance. Then the time came when his money was over and he had no ready cash available for further payment at the inn. He had to pretend that he was waiting for a check which could arrive at any moment. Now, then something really strange happened. The clergyman and his wife were awakened by some noises in their study room. When they were coming downstairs, they could hear the sound of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. The clergyman held a metal rod in his hand and flung the door open. And as soon as he opened the door, he said, "Surrender," as he thought he had caught the thief. But to his amazement, he realized that the room appeared to be empty. He and his wife looked under the desk. Means no one was there. They saw behind the curtain also up the chimney, but person was nowhere to be seen. Yet the desk had been opened and housekeeping money was gone. Then the clergyman kept on saying, "Extraordinary affair," because no one was there and the money had been stolen. The whole day because he was shocked by the incident. But the things that happened with Mrs. Hall's furniture were much more fascinating. Mrs. Hall and her husband woke up very early and were surprised as the door to the guest room was open. Means the door of Griffin. Griffin's room was open. Usually his room's door remained closed and locked. He used to get very angry if anyone tried entering his room. It was an opportunity and Mrs. Hall didn't want to miss it. They decided, Mrs. Hall and her husband, to investigate. When they saw that nobody was inside the room, his bed sheets were cold, which showed that he must have been up for a while, and also all the bandages that he used to tie around his face were lying around the room. Suddenly, Mrs. Hall heard a sneak close to her ear, and Griffin's hat that was lying on the bedpost flung towards Mrs. Hall and hit her on her face. Now, then the bedroom chair became alive. Springing into the air, it charged straight at her, legs foremost. As she and her husband turned away in terror, the extraordinary chair pushed them both of them out from the room and then appeared to slam and lock the door after them. Means some unusual thing was happening. This terrorized Mrs. Hall, and she was about to fall down from the stairs. She was convinced of the thought that there were spirits in her aunt's room and that the stranger had caused this to happen. She mourned that her mother used to sit in the chair which hit her legs and thought that how could it rise up against her. The neighbors of Mrs. Hall thought that it was witchcraft which had caused such a thing to happen. When the news of the burglary at the clergyman's house reached other people in the town, everyone started suspecting the strange scientist, Griffin. Suspicion grew stronger on him when he produced ready cash for his payment at the inn, even though he had told some time back that he did not have money and was waiting for a check to arrive. The village constable was called for, and Mrs. Hall did not want to wait for him. She went straight to Griffin as he had appeared from the empty bedroom at the inn. She asked him what he had been doing upstairs to her chairs and furniture. She also asked him how did he come out of the empty bedroom or enter the locked bedroom. How he did so. The scientist was always quick-tempered. And now, after hearing these questions, he became furious. He shouted that they are not knowing who he was, and so he told that he can show. Suddenly, he threw off the bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and even nose. It took him only a minute to do this. The people horrified because they found themselves staring at a headless man. Mr. Jaffers, the constable, he arrived and quite surprised to find that he has to arrest a man without a head. Jaffer was not easily prevented from doing his duty. He was understanding. He was understanding that he knew that the magistrate wanted him to arrest the person, and it did not matter that he had a head or not, means he had to arrest the man. So, as he threw away more and more of his clothes, he became more and more invisible. Who? Griffin. And finally, after Griffin removed his shirt, he was nowhere to be seen. Means he was completely invisible. And Jeffers was struggling to arrest a man who had become completely invisible. This was creating problem to Jaffer. People who tried helping Jeffers were also struggling as they were hit by blows from nowhere. As Jeffers made his last attempt to catch hold of the invisible man, he was knocked unconscious by the invisible man. A strong hit. Everybody was shouting, "Hold him!" repeatedly, but Griffin had set him free from them, and nobody could understand how to catch him, as he was completely invisible. So, this was the story. This is the summary of the story that will help you understand in brief what the story is about. And I hope this will help you to understand. Thank you.